kids always makes things more difficult. So what if we have a rotation that you should have heard of this before, rotation, but it's chocked full of kids? What do you do with those extra kids? So in this example, what we're going to have here is that you're going to have a new node placed into the tree. When it does the rotation, somebody's got to pick up a kid. Now, there's a couple of scenarios that happen, is that sometimes a parent will pick up and then sometimes a parent will pick up. It really actually depends on the rotation and actually who is getting demoted. So I'll show you some examples of that here in a minute, but be careful. If you do have a rotation with 3 kids issue or child handoff, it's going to come up again just like you had in splay trees if we covered it before. So we'll go over examples here in a moment. So you're going to see actually 2 things in this example. Number 1 is actually watching a case 1 where, remember case 1, you got to do a blackify and then you got to check the grandparents, see if it's connected to a red. This might be your first time you're seeing them actually connected to another red and what we got to do after that. And we also have our child handoff that I told about earlier. So in this example, we just added number 8. So we're going to go ahead and, well, this little scenario that I'm highlighting right now is our case number 1. So we're going to go ahead and start blackifying. And then remember, blackifying with the old grandparent, now I'm going to check to see if it's connected to another red node. And in this case, as it's being highlighted, we actually see that we do. So go figure. So the whole thing resets, meaning that our grandparent's now X, and we have a parent and a grandparent, just like I'm about to show you right about here. And there it is right there, as soon as I get out of the way. So here's how everything is reset here, and we have to identify which of the cases this is going to be. Well, this has a red parent and a black uncle, so I believe that should be our case number 3. So we're going to go ahead and do our rotation where P is actually going to go ahead and pop up to the top and grandparent is going to drop. But here's the problem, is that sibling. So that P can't add another sibling, can't add the grandparent. So what am I going to do with S? And that's what happens in our next flow here, is that you're going to have your S is going to become, well, the grandparent's problem. So parent's going to go up, as you can see between these 2 right here, and S is now going to be connected to the grandparent, which got demoted. So again, when it gets demoted, it's most likely going to pick up the kid. Now the other part is double check to see if this is a binary search tree after we're all said and done. Take a look, and well, frankly, yeah. So remember, one last thing on all of this is that once we do our rotations, when we're completely done, notice the root is actually still red. But we're here at the root, there's nothing else to do. We end up doing case 4 to change that root into black. And this is how it'll look when everything is said and done. So here's our next example of, well, adding a number and then just checking to see, frankly, what's going on with the child handoffs. But again, I'm doing the same exact thing as a previous one, is doing a case 1. A case 1 has a follow-up, a legit follow-up, and then we have a child handoff. So I just added 50, as you can see at the very bottom here with X. I'm going to go ahead and do a case number 1, which is a blackify. So the uncle and parent get changed to black, and the grandparent gets changed to red. Then after case 1, we got to redo the whole thing and check to see if we have 2 reds in a row, which frankly we do, 30 and 70. So what's going to happen is now, we're checking with those items, we're going to go ahead and do our next case, which is case 2, I believe. And then, well, with that case number 2, somebody's going to get promoted and somebody's going to get demoted. So what happens in this one? Well, what's going to happen is that here is our 2 red nodes that we have to worry about. But as we do our rotation, the parent is actually going to be the one that takes the fall. So, as you know, if somebody gets demoted, they're going to end up with the extra kid. So that 60 that we had right there that was for X, it needs to be picked up. And the next logical place is, frankly, one that just got demoted, will have room on the left side because it was pointing to X. And 60 is a good place. Isn't 60 less than 70? Yeah. So it's going to pick up the kid that way. So notice this rotation. If we have too many kids, it's whoever's getting demoted is going to be picking up child.